Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're reaching us from. This is Njenga from Business Debut, and today we have an exciting topic. As a business owner, one of the things you must do is to learn the art of selling. I was reading a book by Grant Cardone, who's one of the respected salespeople in the world, and he says he's written a book called Sell or Be Sold: How to Get Your Way in Business and in Life. And one of the topics he talks about in this book is, just quoting one of the things he says, of the world population, the world population have no clue that the success they will experience in their life and career depends solely on selling. If they don't know how to sell, they will not be successful. So it doesn't matter. For example, I'll even give an example of somebody who's doing an interview. I mean, if you're conducting an interview, one of them is receiving, the other one is selling. So if depending on how you convince the person who's interviewing you, you'll either get a job or not. So it's important to learn the art of selling. And in business, that is so key. I can tell you the number of times that you as a business owner, you'll be faced an opportunity where you need to pitch for business. And so now learning the art of closing business is also very key. Another thing he discusses in his book, and we'll continue to discuss in the book, is that he says something very interesting, that committing to the profession is consumed by the desire to be great and the dedication to learn the trade. When you learn how to sell, there is nothing you can be able to do. Whether you're selling building, whether you're selling courier, the art of selling is key. Now, I've run a business for the last 19 years, and one of the things that I've learned, even when I get somebody to come on board in my business, is to salesperson, is to see whether they are confident. So one of the things as a salesperson, you have to have a very positive attitude, which is key, and two, you must learn the art of selling. Now, what do you mean the art of selling? You either know how to close a deal, or you know how to close a deal and how to prospect and how to follow up deals. And what do you do when in a table with somebody who's you are trying to pitch for? That is very key. So how do you do this? So I'll give you an example. Last week I was discussing with somebody who was trying to grow their business. They had come to us because they wanted to increase their sales in the pharmaceutical world. Right now, because of the issue of corona, people are not going to meet people physically. So we're discussing on the business aspect. Now, this gentleman was coming to me because he wants me to distribute his product in Kenya. But there was a business opportunity there. The thing is, I wanted to be able to help him grow his sales. Now, anytime you are selling somebody, you need to be able to know what value are you giving that person. So the discussion we're having with him was, one, do I help him distribute, or do I help him build a website that would be able to help him increase his sales? Now, during our discussion, the value that was seeing was that if I build for him a website and I'd be able to help him distribute his products, he'll get more value. So we went past the issue of distribution to past the issue now of how do you help me increase my sales? Because remember, any business globally, the thing that we do and is key is selling. If you can't sell your business, you don't have a business. So moving from now distribution to selling. So we discussed the opportunity, how do I increase his sales? And when we talked about increasing his sales, the guy lit up because he has a target. He needs to increase his sales. So what technology can we do? What technology can we develop for him to be able to help him increase his sales? And the discussion changed. And that's a discussion we're having with him now. When you talk about selling now, he's able to put in more money into the business so that he can be able to increase his sales. So that's why sales is so important. Now, once you show value, the other thing is to understand in sales, you say, are you selling price? Are you selling value? Now, one of the things that Grant Cardone discussed, and it was very, very interesting, I found it very interesting, was that people don't buy price, they sell value. Of course, people don't sell price. We usually think the best thing to do, the thing that you can only do is sell price. But usually people look at value. Now, when somebody tells you, it was an interesting discussion in his book, if somebody tells you this product is very expensive, what you tell them is, I agree with you, it is very expensive. However, the product I'm giving you will give you more value. If, for example, it will give you more value. So this product is expensive, but it is good for you because it will give you value as a person. So you never disagree with a customer in terms of issues. Now, the other thing that he was discussing, and is very interesting, he was saying that anytime you sit with a customer and you are closing a deal, you need to show him what you're selling. You don't sell talk, you sell information. And you must always have a document to show the things that you're selling. For example, like now when I was talking to this customer and I was giving a presentation about the website and all that, I needed to show him what product am I going to deliver for him. So I showed him a mock of a website. I showed him the value in terms of revenues that he's going to be able to realize. And he sees value. So if after I show him that I'm going to increase his sales by from 10 to 50%, and now I give him the issue of price, the guy will be very interested because he's seeing value for the product. So you don't sell price, you sell value. That is very, very, very key in any organization and any speech you're doing. Now, the other thing is confidence. I looked at one of the other things that Grant Cardone was discussing in his book, and I thought that was very interesting. Remember, everybody is always selling. Everybody. Right now, I'm selling you information to see whether you can get value to become part of our subscribers. Now, that is selling. And all professions rely solely on sales. It doesn't matter whether you produce a great product. If you can't sell that product, it is useless. So, the key one thing is you have to be able to sell your product. You have to sell a product, and whatever product that you're selling, you have to believe in the product. One of the things that I realize that people sell things and they don't believe in that product. For example, I sell courier business. I must believe in my product. First and foremost, I must have sold to myself before I start selling to people. Just like salvation. You can't tell me about getting saved if I'm not saved. You can't be telling me, I believe in Christ. No, you get saved, and yet you're not born again. So you have to be born again. So you believe in the product, then you sell the product in anything you do. So you can't be out of the product. So you need to believe in the product and sell the product. When you do that, then it's easy to sell because you sell from your heart. Then the other thing is, as a salesperson, this is the thing, persistence. Persistence wears out resistance. Now, one of the interesting things about selling, and it's an interesting thing that he was also discussing in the book, is that the first people you sell to is your family, your friends, and your network. Yeah. Now, why do you do that? Because they are the easiest people to talk to. A person would buy a product because they like your sister would buy probably a product because not because they believe in the product, because they believe in you. Yeah, they want to support you. And if you do that, so first the people you sell to are your family, then you go to your friends, then you go to your schoolmates, you go on and to grow. Once you sell to many people and talk to people about your product, what you're doing is that you're building what is called a movement. The more people who know about your product, because remember what, there's a concept by, we usually say that every one person has a potential of knowing about 150 people. It's called the dampers principle. So if I talk to John knows another person. So he has 150. So if you talk to 100 people, you'll know those 100 people multiplied by 150. You have a potential of closing business by 150 people. You have a potential of closing the business with very many people. So first sell to your family, sell to your friends, sell to your schoolmates. What you're doing that is creating a movement. Even for example, if you're a young man and you're looking for a job, what do? You don't talk. You talk to your family, you talk to your friends, you talk to your teachers, you talk to your former schoolmates, because when you do that, you're building a huge network. It's called a movement. When you have a movement, then you are able to get more people calling you because your word goes out. So, and I found that very interesting, building a movement. And so it's interesting that what Grant Cardone was discussing. And then the other thing about selling is to learn the art of closing. At any one point, when you're selling, remember the one thing that you have to do is always ask. Yeah? I'm closing a deal. So you have to be able to close a deal, and that's key. You might go there, do your presentation. If you don't ask to close the deal, you might waste so much time. So invest time. It's important to sell, but always remember you have to close. So you have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't receive. So you can do a great presentation. Then the question is, at every stage of your deal, you are finding out whether that person will want to buy what you're selling. So I found that extremely interesting. So the other thing as a salesperson is that you've got to have a positive attitude. Positive attitude is key. So whatever you do, pitching is key, numbers are key, but all the same, you have to have a positive attitude. And that is discussed greatly. And for a business owner, attitude is everything. Because sometimes you knock doors and doors will not open. But as you knock doors and you knock more doors, what happens? If you just say you knock 100 doors, one door will open. Yeah, so you need to be able to be positive, but knock as many doors as possible. Yeah, so it's interesting. So if you're a businessman, this is a book I'd recommend, Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. He's a powerful salesperson. He sells in real estate, and he's inspired me greatly. And I think it's important for you to be able to look at. Remember what I told you as a entrepreneur. The one thing you must do is keep reading, because you get value from reading and learning a lot from your books, from books, because these are successful people who've done well. Let me just read you something else that he says. The first thing, how to build your power base. The power base is now what I'm saying, the movement. The first thing you need to do is to make a list of your power base. Your power base includes, but not limited to, friends, family, members, associates at past jobs, past employers, current, former clients, members of a club, neighbors, members of organization you belong to, members of your church you believe in or not, even people who didn't like you in school. For example, even your enemies. So when you're building a power base, so that the people you talk to first, yeah. And then what you do once you build that power base, you contact these people by phone, in person, by mail, or by email. So once you build your power base, these are people you know. The best way to meet them is either do face-to-face, and right now we don't do face-to-face, but you can do probably do WhatsApp and stuff. But you see, when you build your power base, what you're doing is that you're building people who know you, even your enemies. Once they know you and you have a meeting with them and tell them what you're selling, you're already building the first layer. Remember, in that first layer, now the next layer is now their contacts. And that has happened. Like a good example is you could probably have a bully who was bullying you in school. That person could be the next opportunity for your next level. So talk to them about your business and what you're doing, and you'll grow. So a salesperson, one, building a power base, that is key. Positive attitude is very key, and the art of selling, closing, is also very key. Something else that is very interesting, and I want to share again in this book that he shared. I was reading. It was very interesting. Where are you? Yes, this is key. The 10x rule. It says, if you want one thing, take massive action equal to at least 10 times what you think it will take to ensure you attain that one thing. So if you want to attain, for example, if you're looking to sell, you need to be able to do what's called the 10x rule. And he's done a book on 10x rule. So 10%, 10 times what you want to achieve. So aggressiveness, being aggressive in what you're doing, aggressive. So if you're looking at selling 10 houses, then you have to look at doing 1,000 times that. Yeah. And attitude. So don't waste time. One of the other things that he was discussing is the people you want to go out with. For example, if you're having lunch, you don't have lunch with your staff. Have lunch with people you don't know. Why? Because when you have staff with lunch with people you don't know, then you're building your power base. Yeah. So it's a book I'd recommend. Sell or Be Sold. And remember, you don't sell price, you sell value. And it's important for a businessman to be able to build your power base. Once again, my name is Njenga, a business debut. And today, we're talking about sales. You have to be able to sell, because if you don't sell, you have no business. Thank you very much. And God bless.